Good morning and welcome to Oxford Weekly News. My name is Houston Vick. Before we get into the news of this week, however, I want to show you guys around the control room, show you where the magic happens. So over here is our audio board that controls the sound. Over here is where we put our clips and stories on the server. Thank you both so much for all your hard work this semester. Couldn't have done it without you. Then we go down here. We got our camera switcher, our director sits here, our graphics computer over here, a bunch of different camera feeds. So that's pretty much how it all works. Thank you guys for tuning in again this semester, and now on to the news.
Welcome to Oxford Weekly News. I'm Danny Stent.
And I'm Houston Vick. Shocking case of animal abuse in Riley Township headed to court this week. Dozens rallied outside the Oxford courthouse May 2nd to demand justice for Lou, a 2-year-old Doberman pinscher who died from abuse on March 27th. Jennifer Mullert, who owns 2 rescued corgis, drove from Cincinnati to show her support.
Unimaginable that this evil person who named his dog Lucifer in the beginning brought this, on this dog. An albino Doberman who had skin issues to begin with, he had no chance.
A packed courtroom clapped as the dog's former owner, David Nienover of Riley Township, was taken into custody and issued a $25,000 cash bail. Following the dog's death, Nienover's charges will include felony abuse of an animal carrying a 6 to 12-month prison sentence, which Sheriff Jones hopes will become the new standard.
I've communicated with Sarah Crothers, our state representative, and we're going to try to get some legislation where we can up that penalty and this be a regular basis when you starve animals and you abuse animals.
These changes could come in the form of House Bill 33, proposed to the state legislature in February, and if passed, would require law enforcement, vets, and social services to immediately report suspected cases of animal cruelty.
During the week of April 22nd to 29th, there were 5 reports to the Oxford Police Department concerning the address 5032 College Corner Pike, home to the Parkview Arms apartment complex. These reports included possession of drugs, domestic violence, and felonious assault. Oxford Police Lieutenant Laura Fenning says the department is aware that there are a high number of incidents at the location and tries to adjust accordingly.
Yes, it is a concerted effort for the shift supervisors that when there is adequate staffing, that they will put resources out there. Even if there's not adequate staffing, they'll make sure that they at least make their presence known out there.
Since January 1st of this year, over 40% of all calls concerning drug overdoses and over 20% of all calls for domestic violence have been for Parkview Arms.
As the current school year ends, 2 proposals approved by the Miami University Senate signal changes for 2 of the academic programs. This is Miami University's Classics Department. It has 4 tenured faculty and about 30 students majoring. In the same fashion as other schools across the country, the interest in the major is shrinking. Looking at the last decade, Classics Chair Dr. Stephen Tuck knows why.
Ever since the economic downturn in 2008, students have turned towards majors that lead directly to jobs. And the liberal arts in general have suffered in enrollment. It's been tougher to argue to students that the skills we provide will get them a job if they just trust us.
A recent proposal to the University Senate discussed joining Classics with another department within the College of Arts and Sciences. Though a merger would ensure the study of classics at Miami would continue, University Senator and anthropology student Charles Koenig thinks proposals like this could be negative in the long run for smaller departments.
So I think there's a fear amongst select groups of professors where the school can kind of pick off where they want, and then that kind of leaves everyone more anxious, more vulnerable, less likely to collaborate with each other because they're in competition with each other.
Conversely, the other proposal approved by the Senate would make the Armstrong Interactive Media Studies program into its own department. The program began in 1996 and has seen a surge in enrollment over the past 10 years. Currently a wing of the College of Creative Arts, IMS has over 900 majors within the program and is only getting bigger. Director of IMS, Dr. Glenn Platt, thinks IMS has become popular due to offering a variety of students many ways to learn how to work in an increasingly digital world.
If you're interested in business, if you're interested in going into kind of, the startup world, or you're interested in going into industry, the digital and creative side of that is a lot more appealing to students. And actually, there's a lot of jobs in that space.
IMS boasts one of the premier game development programs in the country, as well as a nationally ranked esports team. There are several internships available through the program, sending students to tech companies and startups in Chicago, Cincinnati, and San Francisco. These changes won't take effect overnight. Judging from enrollment, however, Miami students are saying, out with the old and in with the new. Some new features Dr. Platt hopes to make a part of the IMS major include a master's program in esports management that will be obtainable via the popular gaming-oriented streaming app Twitch.
Miami grad Jessica Green has been appointed Assistant City Manager for the City of Oxford. Green is a resident of Oxford Township and is currently pursuing a master's degree in public administration at Kent State University. She has an extensive background working with the city as the director of the Enjoy Oxford Visitors Bureau since 2012. Congratulations, Jessica.
Oxford residents are talking about what types of businesses they would like to see uptown. We sent reporter Joe Gurnig to take the pulse of city residents and leaders.
One of Oxford's few entertainment businesses has a singular type of product: paint your own pottery.
Well, we have a really large local following, so we don't really see too much of a drop. I mean, it's obviously a little bit because the students are gone. However, we still stay pretty busy.
However, Oxford residents always want more than just pottery, and walking through uptown shows that there are several empty-looking buildings. That's where Rebecca Lockhart's Facebook post comes into play, with over 450 comments.
Part of it was trying to figure out why small businesses either fail or succeed, and why they do that.
New businesses can't open anywhere either. There needs to be room for one first, which is a good problem for Oxford, with only 9 available spots for commercial use in Uptown. And there are currently 11 other sites that are vacant but not available, and this includes the old sites for 45 East and Follett Bookstore. Overall, the city of Oxford is at around 95% occupancy for businesses. For a local business to survive, it needs a population for transactions.
So the Miami student population right now is around 19,000. So then how many locals does that leave? There's varying debates on that true number, but I would put it around 6,000 to 7,000 roughly.
That means Oxford's population is nearly 3 times as large during the school year, which will keep most businesses open. Kiger's advice for businesses that need help is simple: shop local. While looking through the Facebook post, we found bookstores and movie theaters were high on the list. Luckily, Books and Brews should be opening this summer for us bookworms.
Coming up on Oxford Weekly News, I asked scholars around the campus about the state of the job market outgoing seniors will be entering in just a few short weeks.
But how far would you go for a slice of cookie cake? One Oxford woman risks it all, and we've got the scoop. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Choosing your major is challenging, and it can really shape your college experience. Miami's Office of Institutional Research surveys recent graduates from each major to see if they followed the path of their major, as well as their career success.
Miami has begun conducting a survey titled First Destinations. The survey asks new alumni from each major to tell what their starting salary is and what field of work they are in. Michael Light is a data analyst for the survey, and he says that the survey is representative of the Miami alumni body.
We start off our breakout looking at Oxford bachelor's, regional bachelor's, master's, and doctorate, and all of those we can speak to a 95% confidence level, which is pretty good. Like, that's standard in research, and we're pretty much able to say that we know within 2-3% that this is the case.
The survey can be used to inform not only students, but faculty as well in the trends that are occurring for students leaving Miami and entering the workforce. And it's a good time to be entering the workforce. The current job market is better than it has been in years. According to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, 11% more graduates from the class of 2019 will be higher than the class of 2018. Assistant Vice President in the Miami Career Center, Jennifer Franchak, is confident with the Miami senior class going into the workforce.
The national average is about 84% of placement within the first 6 months of graduation, whether it's going on to graduate school, further study, or a job. Miami students, it's 97% and above.
One reason the First Destinations survey is conducted is to see whether or not students are getting jobs in the same field as their major. For those that don't go that path, the survey can be a reassurance that your major doesn't determine your life. For senior finance major Kyle Kreider, that couldn't be more true.
A lot of times there are times I was like, oh, is this the right thing? Should I just, follow my finance degree and use that? But I would just say, it sounds cheesy, but it's like follow your passions, and I think it'll take you further in life.
Kyle Kreider will be leaving finance behind him after college. He'll be teaching math in the city of Chicago for Teach for America post-grad.
On April 28th, Oxford resident Karina Michael was charged with aggravated burglary, assault, and criminal damaging after an incident that involved a cookie cake. Initially, police say Michael came into the house through an unlocked door and was found in the kitchen eating the cake. According to police reports, Michael later assaulted one of the residents who was trying to lead her outside and punched through a glass window to re-enter the house after being locked on the back porch. In February, Oxford Weekly News reported the passing of longtime economics professor and fraternity advisor Jerry Miller after a battle with cancer. On April 27th, members and alumni of Miller's Sigma Alpha Mu fraternity gathered for a celebration of life. Attendees helped plant a memorial tree and plaque in honor of Miller at the fraternity house's front yard on South Campus Avenue. Miller worked for Miami and advised Sigma Alpha Mu for over 40 years.
On May 2nd, Oxford community members, including Miami President Greg Crawford, read aloud the names of over 6,000 Holocaust victims on an International Day of Remembrance. Organized by Miami Hillel, volunteers read in shifts for 9 hours straight, but at an estimated rate of 650 names an hour. It would have taken them over a year to commemorate each of the more than 6 million Jews murdered in the genocide.
We are going to read as many names as we can. We have a lot of the names in there. We never finish them, but it's our duty to read as many as we can.
Responding to recent attacks on synagogues in Pittsburgh and California, Dave emphasized that now more than ever, society must reflect on history to prevent repeating it. Coming up on Oxford Weekly News, the incoming class of 2023 already has a homework assignment for this summer. The summer reading program has selected this year's book.
Kramer Elementary School hosted Culture Night recently to celebrate in the diversity of the district. It was a major success. Stay tuned to find out more. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Oxford Weekly News. Each summer, Miami University chooses a book for the incoming class. Stephanie Anderson's One Size Fits None, a farm girl's search for the promise of regenerative agriculture, was chosen to help students think critically about who produces the food they consume. The book got rave reviews from the Liberal Education Office's student committee because of its easy-to-read, short story format.
Students at Kramer Elementary come from 30 different countries and speak over 33 different languages. Diversity was celebrated at the first annual Kramer Cultural Night, which was attended by an estimated 500 people. On May 2nd, the school's cafeteria was transformed into a miniature United Nations as families shared their cultures, with activities such as Japanese calligraphy and lessons on how to expertly wrap an Indian sari.
It's a 6-yard piece of cloth, and they're curious about how you can carry that big of a piece of cloth on you, and so mom just showed them that you can do that.
Linda Bucher has seen her English as a second language. Classes continue to grow from 12 students to over 155 since 2006.
I just had a new student arrive from Ukraine in kindergarten. He does not know any English, and I was taking him around the school just to show him different things around the school. water fountain, and I told him to push the button, and this water came out, and he just started giggling because he had never seen a water fountain before.
Judging by the size of the crowd and the amount of happy kids, a second annual Kramer Cultural Night is safe bet for 2020.
In March, Oxford Weekly News reported the Public Arts Commission of Oxford, or PACO, was requesting submissions for an art installation. Submissions for the art are available via an online forum now open on the City of Oxford's website. The project's total budget is estimated at $2,500.
City residents can finally see the beginnings of the new Oxford Aquatic Center. 2 water slides in part of the children area are now up in the Oxford Community Park. Oxford Economic Director Alan Kiger says that the pool is set to fall within the $4.8 million budget and is still scheduled to open on May 25th, despite some recent rain and other bad weather.
What would make yoga more fun? Animals, specifically goats. Join Lil G and Dandy at the Reserve Run Family Farm Sunday, May 5th at 1 p.m. for Goat Yoga. The barn will only hold 20 people, so there are less than 10 tickets left. Tickets are $20. You can buy them from either the Facebook event page or eventbrite.com. If you're lucky, Marcia might follow you around the farm.
That's all for this week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Danny Stent. You can watch us online on our YouTube channel.
Also connect with us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Search Oxford Weekly News.